Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining and providing your time today. Time is the most precious commodity these days. It's not money anymore. I think it's time. And you spending your time with me over here with our team, I really appreciate it. I hope I can make it worthwhile for you. So today's webinar is all about the VisualSP help system and specifically our app. We've had the farm solution for a long time now, and knock on wood, has been pretty successful in the market. The app we've also had for a while, but it's been on and off from the beta stage to production state, but we've been changing it. And we are in a version right now where I feel personally that we have a really good story to tell. And would love feedback from you guys to help us understand, to help me understand also if we're going the right direction or we need to change. So those of you who don't know me, my name is one more. My name is Asif Rahmani. Here's my Twitter handle. I'm the CEO at VisualSP. Also, I'm a principal trainer as well here. Been working with SharePoint for a very long time now. I'll talk a little bit more about myself in a minute. Now, before we move forward, though, I would love to get your perspective on one thing, which is, well, not perspective, in this case, just a fact statement answer. Are you using SharePoint Online already? So if you're a system integrator, your users, or if you're, and you know what, I'm going to actually set a poll over here for you guys, so you don't have to say it in the questions and answer panel. Hang on. All right, so you should have a poll that's viewable to you. If you could please take a few seconds and answer that question, then I'm going to go ahead and show the poll so all of you can see who else is in the room. You might be considering it, but if that's the case, then say no right now. Just want to see who's actually using it at this point. All right, let me take 5 seconds and close it. Let's close the polls. Here we go. And I want to share with you guys. Okay, so hopefully you can see the poll results now. 63% of you said yes, 38% said no, and I can bet you that from 38% you guys are thinking about it, right? Everybody's thinking about either should I go SharePoint Online full force for ourselves, for our customers, if you're an integrator, or should we go a hybrid model, etc. So I appreciate you sharing this with me. Let me hide this thing here. Okay, so you should be hopefully seeing my screen again. Let me know if you can't. Right now we're going to be talking about the presentation. You know what, actually, let me just make sure you can see my screen. So my screen should say presentation today. Can one of you please tell me you can see it? Okay, I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you. Presentation today. Here it is. The need. Why do we care? What are we doing over here? What am I talking about? The solution. We'll talk about that. And the fun part, the raffle. In our webinars, I try my best always to have a raffle at the end. And this time is going to be for subscription, 1-year subscription to SharePointVideos.com, or also now known as VisualSP.com, where you have hundreds of tutorials, and it's worth $200 for the year. So I'm going to hold the raffle. At the end of the webinar, I'll look at the questions and answer panel. We'll pick one randomly. And that person, if you can contact us, will set you up with a 1-year access. All right. Now, the only thing that we are requesting today is if you can provide us feedback on what we're doing right, what we can do better in this particular app. Right. Moving on forward, here's who I am. Just a very quick introduction. For those of you who don't know me, I've been in SharePoint since 2002. Doing lots of different things, mentoring, helping, I like to think, writing, speaking, and training people on all things SharePoint. So hopefully I'll continue to do that in the future as well. The need. Get a return on your SharePoint Online investment. No point on having SharePoint Online or Office 365 and not really using it. Now, I want to make something clear over here. Office 365 is big, right? It's got lots of different components to it. It's got your Exchange, you got your Office in there, you have Link, which is called Skype for Business now, and then you have SharePoint Online. SharePoint Online is the focus of this particular presentation. How can you make that SharePoint Online investment, which is a pretty big part of what you're paying for in Office 365, how do you make it worth it? Get users the help they need when they need it. That's a very important point. In my own experience, and literally talked to hundreds of organizations now and thousands of people, a lot of people over the years, and this is the exact same issue. Users need help when they need it. It's not really before. You can't really dump stuff into their heads. It just doesn't work. The thorough user training. And if you do it after the fact, they've already moved on. It's too late. So how do you help them when they need help? That's the question here. Providing also on-demand training to users. And I'm going to distinguish between these two of these things. The first thing I was talking about was help and support when they need it. And then second is on-demand training for them to further go into and understand how to do certain things, which I don't maybe need help on right now, but I want to train myself on it. So one more quick poll before I move on. And this, going from that need that I just talked about, are your users in your organization really adopting and using SharePoint? I would love to hear from your perspective. So let me go ahead and launch this poll as well. There's varying degrees, of course, what people say. It's up to you. Please be honest. And one of the good things about these kind of polls is when you respond to this, it's a big group that's attending here, which once again, I'm really thankful for. You all can see each other's responses and see what's going on in the market. I know that you're not alone in what's happening. All right, I'll give it 5 more seconds and I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and then share the results with you guys. Great, close it now. And here are the results. All right. So the middle one is the one that I hear the most as well, and that's what many of you picked. Lots of hand-holding is needed to get them to use it, to get them the answers they need. Some people get really excited about the stuff they see in SharePoint and on-premises or SharePoint Online. They're like, oh, what is this? How do I do this? But then there's always questions. There's always these same things again and again that you have to help. How do you get away from that? How do you have them use it effectively every day? 16% of you said it's being used effectively every day. I congratulate you. I would love to know the secrets as well of your organization, so please contact me afterwards. Would love to have a chat with you. All right. Thanks very much, guys. Once again, I'm showing the screen right now. So here's our solution, a solution. Ready? Inline help for users, end users, when they need it, where they need it. In this case, using the eye information icon. So wherever on the screen they need help, the eye icon should be there. And if it's not there, we can put it there. So they can get the help they need, where they need it, inline help, section-based help, in-page help. But that's not all. Furthermore, when they want to get some additional training, additional support on the things that are not on visual on the screen, they can always go to the help tab and get further help and further training on SharePoint on those particular sections, areas. And then third thing, which I feel is extremely important as well, one solution does not fit everybody. So what we give you, what we provide you guys from our company might not be the best solution for your company. We want always to have for you to have the ability to change and to show the items that make sense to your users. All right. Let's go on and talk to you about this now. Ready? I'm going to go ahead and I'm not a big PowerPoint guy, to all those of you know me, so I'm going to go ahead and switch directly to our environment and show you guys. All right. Let me know, everybody, if you don't mind, just maybe a few of you, if you can see my screen, it should be showing. Let me just go back actually to home page. Here we go. All right. So good. Great, appreciate it. Okay, thank you guys. As you can see over here, you see these icons. Let's refresh the screen one more time over here. Okay, so you got these icons, here we go, that appear here, 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 there. And when you click on it, it highlights, first of all, when you hover over it, it highlights the section that the help is on, and then it gives you the help that's available for that particular section. For this one, it's the sidebar or the quick launch. So working with quick launch menu, yes, I do want to know how to do that. So I click on it, right? And then, here we go, the video starts. So you could probably hear two of me now. Let me go ahead and pause it. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and mute my computer audio here so you don't hear the actual audio. But every video that we provide has full narration. Every video is 2 minutes or less because it's really targeted towards end users. So anyway, it's very much directed to people who are readers all the way to administrators of SharePoint sites. Okay? These are all, at least in my opinion, end users of SharePoint sites. All right. So now this particular one, of course, was a video. How about other stuff? Let me see. Click on this and customize site navigation. When I click on this I believe is not a video. Okay, so this is an actual article. Okay, that's out there. And this article from Office Online, we're also consuming directly from Office Online into our app right here. And you can do that for anything out there, any article, any video, YouTube video included, your own videos, any web pages, PDF files, whatever you want, you can consume it and show it to the users when you want to show it to them. So same thing, here we go, configuring the top link bar. If I click on this thing, this is a video that we provide, so it's right there. For share, that's permissions, understanding permissions, adding users to a site, extremely important stuff, right? I believe the understand permissions, this is a YouTube video, let me show you that. Yeah, so that's a YouTube video in this case, understanding permissions in SharePoint. Great. Okay, so when you change context, what happens? So you're at a home page right now. Well, when you go to document library in this case, same exact thing that you'll see right here. Yeah, here you go. So wherever you are as a user, you'll see the help you need at the time you need it. Great. You can even go beyond that thing. So if you're, actually, let me stay in document library. But if you go from document library to, let's say if you're the administrator of a library, right, and you go to library settings. In library settings, you'll see icons here also. So here we go, general settings, some things about, for example, configuring ratings for documents in a library, learning how versioning works. These are the kind of things that you need at that time, right, when you're administrator. So this is an article. I believe the first one was a video. Same thing here, permissions and management, and so forth, views. And even beyond that, so as I mentioned before, even administrators of a site need help. So when they go to site settings, there's sectional-based help available there as well. Changing look and feel of a site, customizing site navigation. Let me click on that. And this is an article. Site administration. And we're constantly building more stuff, by the way. So what you're seeing right now is not completely done and final. There are other things that we're still building on it. So you'll see more help for all the other sections as well. Let's see, how about we go to site contents? Let's go there. This is another screen that people need help on. What are apps? Where am I supposed to make a new app, etc.? Recycle bin. How do I work with recycle bin, right? So empty recycle bin, restoring items from recycling bin, etc. And adding an app, okay. All right, I think I lost audio for just a second. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. How do I add an app, etc. over here? Let me just make sure. All right, if there's any issues with the audio, just let me know. I did notice that I lost audio for a second. Okay, so in addition to all that stuff, What about if you need help beyond what you see on the screen? Not everything is going to be on the screen, right? So if I go to document library, for example, and I want to understand in general about versioning and rating and other kind of stuff about library, I can always go as a user to the help tab. Okay, and then click on view help content. When I click on view help content, I get this particular screen, and it's already scoped to document library right now. It has all the different additional training artifacts for me available right here. When you hover over something, right down below in the yellow box, it shows the description of that, right? So you see that right here. Introduction to libraries, setting up a library. Let's click on a few of these. So this in particular is a PDF document. It's a quick reference card. Okay, setting up a library, that's also a quick reference card here. You can always make it bigger. You can always make it, you print it out, save it, whatever, as a user. So, if I do want to pop this out because I want to see exactly how to do this thing while I'm doing it, and I know this dialog box won't help me do that. So I can click on pop out. Here's what it does. It pops it out, keeps the context of where I was before. Now I can see this side-by-side window and another window, right? And actually, I can do it. Make this bigger. Like I said, I can print this out as a user, whatever I want to do. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. Actually, I think I changed the context here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Things like versioning history and email alerts. It's something that I would not have known about until I came over here. Then I can get trained on it. So this is further going into it, getting trained on some of these things, right? Let's see. So, and I'll take some of the questions in a few minutes as well. I just want to show a few of these things before I go forward. All right. So there's training on all these different things that we provide right out of the box. Announcement list, for example, asset library, context list. And whenever you go to some of these things, specific information, artifacts pertaining to that context appears right here. Context list, quick reference, for example, etc. So all this stuff right here is available, of course, in this dialog box, but it's also available in a different context as well. If you, as a user or as an administrator, go to the actual app, you'll see all this stuff there as well. So if you don't want to see it in the window mode here, you want to see full screen, you go to the app, VisualSP Help System for Office 365. You can go from here, or if you don't have a link available here, that you would go from Site Contents and click on the app. But here it is, right? All the help items available here. And then you can click on something and here, same thing. Okay, same thing as I was showing you before, document library, let's say, versioning history, here it is. All right, let me take a few questions over here that are popping up, and then I'll come back to this thing. But any kind of quick maybe feedback as to, hey, this is awesome, or hey, this needs help, why are you doing this thing? Definitely let me know. Okay, so yeah, I do see a couple people talked about the audio before. I apologize about that. We are going to make the recording for this available later, just in case you missed something. And we're always here to answer questions or get on the phone with you as well if you want to know more about the app. Let's see. So Jenny's asking, so that means it will show up unless I use settings according to security or roles? So I think you're talking in this case about the icons and all, right? If they show up. Now, we do have security permissions for each help item that you can configure as well. So depending on your role, depending on what you're allowed to do on your site, you would see specific training, specific help, if that's what you're asking, Jenny. And by the way, some of you saw already that Michael Blonder from our team is also on the Q&A panel, and he is actively answering questions. Thank you very much, Michael. That helps a lot. Okay. Leslie is asking, have you run into any issue with info icon showing up if specialized branding has been applied? So very good question, Leslie. That's something that we're still evaluating with different vendors and different master pages and stuff like that. So far we've had good experiences when we did use different interfaces and different master pages. but we're still looking into seeing exactly how we can further, make sure that things don't break. And if they do break, you get notified that here's what's not working. So that's something that we're working on right now. Kimberly's asking, does this work in IE? Yes, it does work in IE, absolutely. So Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome right now. Daryl, hey Daryl, great stuff. Can we create custom training for our applications? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So let me actually go back right now and talk to you guys about that. That's something that I personally, as a trainer, am very excited about. Hopefully, you guys get excited about this stuff as well. So here's the deal, right? You see all these help. I'm already giving it away. You see all the different stuff that I've shown you, which is context-based help, etc. Here. Here's what I'm going to do. Going over here, remember this thing, working with quick launch menu? Well, what if I want to call this something else, or what if I want to get rid of it completely? Or what if I want to change the icon or something else about it or where it points to? Whatever, something that makes sense for me, or I want to make new training. Well, here's what you do. If you have the app, you go into the app settings over here, manage help items, and here's all of your help items. What do you guys think about this? So everything that we have provided is available here. It shows by this status right here that if it's been changed by the user, by your company basically, or not. So it shows the edit icon, the delete icon, the title, description, the scope of where it is, and then also the inline help target. So the scope in this case is talking about the scope when the dialog box comes up, scope to a specific list or library or wiki page, etc. And an inline help target talks about if it's scoped to a specific section, specific inline help on a page. Let me know if there's any questions about that specifically. So anyway, I was talking about this quick launch thing, right? Let me do a quick search for this quick launch thing. Here we go. Working with quick launch menu. Now, this is the one that I want to change. So I'm going to go and say, let's edit this. Here's our edit screen. Okay. Title, icon. Let's go ahead and change the icon. We've got lots of different icons that we provide. We'll change it to something weird, like calendar list. I guess that's not so weird, but we'll change it to this icon. The icon size, we'll say small. Description, let's leave that. The link, this is the link that's providing our MP4 file in this case. The group, if it's been assigned a particular arbitrary group. Here's all different players, by the way, that we support. And here I don't just mean video players, but video, documents, images, YouTube video, and also web pages. I can change that to anything if I wanted to, and I'll show you an example of that a little later. And also, if you want the a new window to pop up automatically when when you click on a help item, so you can click on that. So that's all the stuff on the left. On the right here shows all different scopes that are available. Announcement, assets, library, blog, data connection library, design catalog, document library, forms library, lots of stuff here. Libraries list. We even have a scope for Nintex, by the way. We decided to put that in because a lot of our customers are using Nintex. So we did that for our farm solution, and then we decided to do that for our app solution here as well. Okay, so anyway, there's a lot of stuff like that for scopes. I'm going to go ahead and also look at the inline help targets. These are the inline help, the section-based help. So top menu, ribbon bar, sidebar, web part container, search box, list settings, site settings, right? Currently, it's saying that it is going to be appearing in a sidebar, which is fine. So let's leave this thing. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and change the title to say just quick launch bar, and we change the icon, as you know. I won't change this right now. A brief word about scope, custom scopes, and custom inline target. You could define custom scopes as well and have them appear in a web part that we provide. So if you have a custom scope that you make that can appear in a web part, if you define that scope, that I want that scope to appear here, that's what this is about. And another quick word about the custom inline help target. This gets a little bit more technical for our technical partners, basically. If you know of a specific ID of a section on a page, you can go ahead and target that custom ID. right there, and it will show that help item right there to that section. It's pretty cool. Definitely we could talk more about that in the future if you guys like. Let me go ahead and save this right now, see what happens. And by the way, so here's the changed one. See, it says changed. And here's the inline help target specifically. This is identifying that sidebar, the left nav bar. I'm going to go back to my test site. And so I want to see if the quick launch has changed. Let's go, come on. Here it is. There we go, quick launch menu. So the wording has changed, the icon has changed, but hopefully the artifact that it's pointing to has not changed. Here it is, same thing. Yeah. Okay, so Daryl, you asked before about how about if I make my own. So I have a scenario for that too. Let's go to YouTube. I have, so our company, well, right now it's in my name, but this is our channel, right? We've I've had the pleasure of having lots of views over the years. So that's great. Thank you very much for people who are watching our YouTube videos. There is a playlist out there for SharePoint 2013 Office 365 videos. I'm going to go in here, look for changing the theme of team site. Yeah, that's a good one, I think. This again. Okay, so here's the URL for this particular video. Let me take that, copy. I'll go to manage help items, and in here we're going to make a new one. Okay, so from scratch, but I'll make it quickly. Customize theme of a site icon. We'll just there's lots of different ones that we have, by the way, and I'll select the image, this icon. The size, I'll make it small. Description, change colors and images of a site. The link, just paste it, Control V. Group, I don't want to really assign it any groups, so I'm going to just say unassigned for right now. Now the player, of course, because it's a YouTube video, I'm going to go ahead and select YouTube here. Makes sense, right? Show a new window, I'll leave this unchecked. Go over here for scope. And in scope, I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, let's show this in a wiki page. So right here, in addition, for the inline help target, let's go ahead and do site setting. Here we go. Site settings, site look and feel section, which I think makes the most sense in this case. And here, when I'm hovering over it, it's showing me the exact location for that inline help target. Also, one more thing that I'll point out here, we were talking about permissions earlier. In addition to scopes, if you go to permissions, this is where all the different permissions, like SharePoint permissions, are available. So if you do not want a certain type, not certain type, but a certain group of people to not see this particular help item when they go to those pages, you just uncheck those permissions that they have. Currently, it's showing to everybody, but you can just uncheck it. For list permissions, site settings permissions, and personal permissions. It's really copying the same permission rights from SharePoint. So let's save it. Here it is, customize theme of a site. It says it's added. Perfect. Let's go back here. Let's test it out. Moment of truth. Site settings. No. Yeah, that's it. Site settings and then site administration. No, I'm sorry. Look and feel. And here it is. Customize theme of a site. Yeah. Great. And here we go. So that's the video. I put it in myself. The location of this artifact, this video, could be anywhere really. I chose YouTube in my case, but it could have been anywhere. And also, if you go back, let me go to view help items and maybe refresh this thing over here. Okay, so in here, if I go to wiki page, let's see if it showed up here. Here we go, customize theme of a site. So that's the one that I added. And here it is. Yeah. And when you hover over it, just like I showed you guys before, this is the actual description that shows up at the bottom. All right, I still have more to talk about but I hope you're finding this stuff useful. Definitely ask questions, and I'll try my best to answer those questions. And of course, Michael is there as well to answer. Hey, Jim, you arrived. I see that. Welcome. Okay, so the content, where is the content being stored? Where is the app being stored? Awesome question, Daniel. Thank you very much. We are working with Microsoft Azure for everything that you see. Okay, the app, the content, everything. We don't allow customers' content in our Azure though, so please keep that in mind. It's going to be our content which we keep on adding and changing as necessary, but the customer content would go into their own Azure or in their own VisualSP, in their own Office 365 environment, or somewhere else where the app can access it, which could be anywhere really, as long as it's available directly. So that's that. Enrico's asking, do you provide a demo of this? Absolutely, we sure do. So we also have a farm solution, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that completely. This is our site, by the way. And from our site, when you go from business, help system like that, or you go down here and click on the VisualSP help system, either way, it's going to take you to this page. So it starts out with some accolades and stuff that people have said about our product. But then when you go down, there's information about our farm system, which has been in production for a really long time now. Definitely check that out. Let's see, let me get back to the questions again. A few more things and I'll come back. Okay. So somebody actually is asking also about licensing. I'm going to definitely be talking about the licensing of this as well and how the inheritance work for all these help items, etc. Okay. Can you edit content? And yes, so you can edit and make anything that you want or disable something if you don't want a help item. Absolutely, Daniel. And let's see. Is there content included in the on-prem package that is not included in the app? So currently, we're trying to keep parity, Daniel, with everything that's in the farm system to the app. Still, we are evaluating and seeing what else we can do in the app. The great thing about the app is when a SharePoint Online customer or Office 365 customer is there for us, they have access to, their customers, I should say, their end users have access to everything on the web. So we try to open up everything, not just our own help items, but everything else on the web as well that pertains to the users. In our farm solution, we don't do that. We just have the stuff from the stuff that we provide, Jenny, thank you very much. Said this is very cool. Great job. Appreciate it. Okay, so let me get back now and talk a couple more things over here. As far as the settings and license stuff is concerned for that, and then I'll get into licensing. First, when you go into manage settings here, here's the really cool thing, at least in my view, speaking as a SharePoint trainer for many years, we have inheritance that's going to help with managing all these help items, right? So do I have to manage it at every subsite? Well, you could if you wanted to, but no, you don't have to. Here's the way this thing works. So imagine you have your tenant, right? So you got your big tenant, your tenant over here. From that tenant, all of your site collections, which let's say are blue, can actually inherit all the help items from there. And you might say, well, what do you mean tenant specifically? Do you have to go into the SharePoint administration, SharePoint Online administration, and define all the help items there? No, that's not what I meant really. It's actually one of the site collections at your tenant, your root site, basically, you define to say, hey, all my help items will go there. And then all the other site collections can inherit from that site collection, if that makes sense. Yeah. But furthermore, why stop here? You can actually have subsites, which also inherit from site collection. So now, even if this is broken, so you're not inheriting from the tenant, you can have your site collection, your top site of the site collection, passing all the help items down there. Okay, so the inheritance works in all these different ways, and that's what this one and this one and all these things talk about. You also have the functionality if you want to turn the inline help off completely or to turn it off at a user level, page level, all that stuff you could do. Okay, so that's how the settings of this whole thing works. Now the license, currently we only have one license for this thing, and that's the VisualSP standard license for Office 365, and that's version 2.0 of our app. So if you're looking for a license for this thing, what I would suggest is once this webinar is over, you'll see a survey that's going to pop up. And that survey is going to say, would you like to enter the private beta program of the app? Just go ahead and mark yes in there, and we'll provide you a license to that right now. And then we'll work with you to figure out what else we can do to make it better. That's what it's all about right now. We want to make this better and useful for your users. And then we can talk about the whole money aspect of it later. But honestly, we want to help the SharePoint Online users. If you can accomplish that first, then we have won basically. Anyway, so that's the demo. With the rapid rate of Office 365 changes, how often do you update your help resources? Joel's asking. So we're going to try our best, of course, to change things around, Joel, as needed. The things do change fairly often in Office 365, as we all know, but they don't change at a super ridiculous rate that we can't keep up with it. So far, we can pull in content from other resources, like from Microsoft resources as well. We can create our own content, and we have a very quick and easy way to change all that stuff around from our back end. So we will be keeping up with at least providing the content that's already there from Microsoft and then generating our own content to help the users fairly soon. There's no real SLA for this right now, but we'll let our customers know as to what the SLA is going to be when a functionality is introduced, as to when you get the help for that functionality. We're going to be hoping for weeks and not months for that. Any other questions or thoughts? Any feedback for the app? Would really appreciate it. Let us know. I don't want to drag this more than we have to, of course, so I talked about and showed whatever I could, but I would love to hear your feedback and thoughts, and the feedback, constructive and any other kind. Enrico is asking, is this only good for SharePoint 2013? I'm thinking you're saying, not 2012. How about 2010? So Enrico, currently we have our farm solution that's available for SharePoint 2010 and SharePoint 2013. And this app is available for SharePoint 2013 on premises and SharePoint Online. Okay. Robin, what relationship do your company have with Microsoft? Well, Robin, personally, our company is a partner of Microsoft. It's not owned by Microsoft, or it's not any other way. I personally am Microsoft SharePoint MVP for the last 8 years. So I personally have a closer relationship actually to Microsoft in that way. Daniel's asking, can we start offering this to our clients? Let's definitely talk about it, Daniel. I know we've been talking about it before. Let's talk about it additionally and see what we can get you guys going. Kimberly, you said impressed, and I really appreciate it. Jenny, when is this released? You're asking. This is where we need help. We need help for you guys to provide feedback and help to improve this further. When we all feel together that this is great for public consumption, we are ready to release it. I mean, currently everything is working. We just want to make sure the content and the context is defined to be the best possible for all your users. So we definitely need help in that. Tawan is saying, great demo and info. I would like to receive more demos for specific applications. Are you offering a webinar in the future? Yeah, you know what? By the way, we're going to be putting this webinar on our site. But in addition to this webinar, I don't know if you guys have been to this page or not. We've been doing webinars for forever, I feel. So if you look at this page, which is sharepointvideos.com/webinars, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here too. We have lots and lots of recorded webinars with other functionality as well, Tone. So I'll put this here, send to all. Check it out. This is lots and lots of stuff. Anyway. All right, Daniel, you got to go. I understand. Take care. Jenny's saying happy to be a beta tester. Well, I appreciate it. Wonderful, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this webinar now. But if you have any questions, thoughts, let me put my email address in here as well if you want to contact me directly. Here it is. So it's Asif at SharePointElearning.com. Also, you can you can contact this one as well. Let me put another one in there. Somebody's asking, do you have academic pricing? We definitely do. We definitely do. So we can talk about that as well. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you being here once again, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care.